Good afternoon, everyone. I'm writer Coach Tony, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to make a book review. It's from one of my favorite authors, Maeve Binchy. She's from Ireland, and her book is called Echoes. Yeah, it's a very thick book. Wait, let's see. Yeah, there you can see it now. Maeve Binchy. I think the light is too harsh. Let's kind of change it. hmm This one. So the title of the book is Echoes. It's one of the thicker books that I've read from her. I've read many books from Maeve, and she's my favorite author. I don't know why, maybe because she's from Ireland and I'm from the Philippines, and we're both very Catholic countries. No? So I think that's the reason why I like her. Now, this book, though, is not typical Maeve because the main character, Claire O'Brien, is not someone you really like to root for because she's so driven. No, she has this way of wanting things, which can be annoying. She has a singular vision of accomplishing what she wants, and then everybody get out of the way. That's how our character is. That's why it's a bit hard to root for her because yeah, she's so dead set on wanting what she wants that she forgets about other people. But she's actually a very caring person. So in the world, I forgot the name of the town, um, Castle Bay, no, Castle Bay in Ireland. So it's a small town, and then of course, like any other society, there's like the rich people, played by David Power, the Power family. The dad of David in the book is Paddy, Doctor Paddy Power. So he's a doctor. He's a doctor in Castle Bay, so he's looked upon highly by the people. And then his wife is Molly, who is kind of a society doctor's wife who loves her position in society. And then the O'Briens were the shopkeepers. They had a store, and they were not exactly rich. And so there was this kind of divide between the rich powers and the poorer O'Briens. No? And then um, Claire also has a sister named Chrissy, who is doesn't like her, and a brother named Tommy, and two younger brothers. So the important people here are Chrissy, because Chrissy is the younger sister, and she's not as smart as Claire. And then Tommy, the brother, went to jail, so it kind of destroyed the family's reputation in Castle Bay. And then they had a brother named Sean, who was a priest who went to Japan. And it turned out he did not maintain his priesthood. No, he decided to marry a Japanese girl named Shuya, and they had two children. So at that time, it was kind of a scandal there because the mother wanted to have a priest so much, but now she doesn't have a priest because the priest has left the priesthood. So, but Claire does something to remedy the situation. So that's part of the book. That's one of the contentions I have with the book, though, because I didn't know how conservative Ireland was before. They were very, very conservative. Based on what I read now from the books of Maeve Binchy and Maureen Lee, during the 50s, the 60s, it was um, society frowned on pregnancies before getting married. That's why I think my mother has the same mindset. But of course, now it's nothing shocking anymore. But during that time, woman has to be married. So every time they're in a relationship and they find out they're pregnant, they have to find a way to get married immediately so that people will not, count the months and figure out that they were pregnant before they had the child before they were married because it was a big no-no during that time. So it also happened here in echoes because what happened was Claire and David, that David was the son of the rich doctor, Claire was a poor one. They began to like each other, and they could not show it in Castle Bay because of the rift nga in social status na parang acceptable. People would comment that why would an ordinary girl like Claire fall for a son of a rich doctor? No, like, it's impossible. She's not even pretty. So that was the kind of the running comment in their place. So, but when they went to Dublin, so because Claire was studying for a degree, a bachelor's degree in economics, I think, or business, and then David was studying medicine, no, in a medical school in Dublin. They became very close friends. No, they found out that they really liked each other and that they were kind of in love. There's a third guy in the story. His name is Jerry. I'll just check his full name. Yeah, he's like the tragic part of the story. No, I can't find his name. Wait, Jerry Boyle. No? The Boyle family was also popular because their dad was a photographer, and so Jerry Doyle, pala D Doyle, was the one who inherited it. And Jerry was also a very good-looking person, a good-looking man. So a lot of the girls fancied him. But what happened was he also fancied Claire. So it's kind of a menage a trois. But in this case, Claire was very sure that she wasn't really into Jerry. She wanted David. So that was the only difference. She wanted David, not Jerry. So Jerry could not leave Castle Bay because his photography shop was there. But when Claire had the baby, Leafy, he wanted to take pictures of the baby, but Claire refused because she knew for a fact that Jerry was really in love with her. So she was afraid that her husband will find out and, kind of destroy what she was trying to build. And she was trying to build a relationship, a family with um, David, and she didn't want Jerry to be, kind of the third wheel. But as the story progresses, um, Dr. David Power kind of strays in because there's another character that comes into the picture. Another rich girl, a lawyer, which would suit David fine because David's a doctor and Caroline was a lawyer. But Caroline had no family in Castle Bay, so she lived there, took a post as one of the assistants in a law firm. And then they had an affair with David. Unfortunately, Jerry hounded them and took pictures when they were making love. So what Jerry did was show the pictures to Claire, which Claire didn't know how to react because she was so afraid she'd lose David. So Jerry was so pissed at her. So um, because Jerry wanted Claire to go with him. Unfortunately, Jerry's business was also not working. Photography business was down, so he's actually poor. He had no money. So Claire wisely used her brain and said, "No, no, I'm not going out with you because you have no money." And then she was afraid that her daughter Leafy would be destitute because Jerry could not support them. So that was a story, and there was a menage a trois. David had an affair with Caroline. Um, Claire discovers it through Jerry's pictures. Jerry then goes to the sea. There's foreboding. There was a foreshadowing here. There's a part of Castle Bay where they had these rocks in the sea, which in earlier part of the book they mentioned that somebody died. So towards the latter part of the book, Jerry Doyle dies as well, and it was kind of For them, it was a suicide, no? Because he kind of drowned and hurt himself in the rocks. So everybody was shocked with what happened to Jerry because he was only 27 years old, in the book. So he had his life before him, but he decided to end it because Claire would not want to be part of his life. In the end, Claire was very happy because she not only got the man, but she was afraid that if Jerry were still alive, he would do something drastic, no? Maybe do something to David or do something to their kid or kidnap someone. So, in a way, she was very happy that, kind of morbid to say, but Jerry kind of is out of the picture. So she was happy with it. Um, in the end, of course, Claire leaves David, which is the most acceptable ending, and then she goes back to Dublin and studies. But and that was the part where she was thinking about it. But in the end, David and Claire reconciled, and they decided to stay in Castle Bay. Claire just did not want to stay in Castle Bay, and she was there her whole life. And then she had a friend named Angela, a school teacher, who coached her to become a great student. And Angela wanted her to teach in the school there, but Claire did not want any of it. And I don't think she did really teach there. She just became the doctor's wife. No? Anyway, there are many things about her that she can do anyway because she was in research, but she didn't want to go back to Dublin. However, with the dad of David, you know, feeling sick already, the dad really needed David to come back to Castle Bay and be the doctor of Castle Bay, to take his place. So that's what happened. No? That's why they returned to Castle Bay. Because initially the plan was for David to have his practice in Dublin and Claire to be a teacher, a don in the university, a professor in the university that you can choose. So what happened was when they had the baby Leafy, Leafy came very early, premature. Um, Claire had to give up her dream. So, there's these cases of women having to give up their dreams for their families, and although it's never discussed in the book, Claire just accept the situation and kind of remember that she may never get her degree anymore. But towards the end of the book, that goal seems to be fulfilled, can be fulfilled because both husband and wife, David and Claire, reconcile. So it's a very good story. It's a bit long. Um, I like it, but not so much the characters, especially Claire. 'Cause Claire can really be very singular in her vision, in her goals. It's not bad, but if you kind of structure your life so much without putting leeway on things, it can, yeah, it can choke you or strangle you. But it never strangles Claire anyway because when adjustments had to be made in her life, she just proceeded to make the adjustments. So anyway, I suggest if you like maybe Binchy, you read Echoes. It's a very enjoyable book to read. I think I had to finish it because I wanted to know what happened. I'm saddened by the suicide of Jerry. I think when you have these things, when you're so much in love, you have to step back and find out if it's really worth it. If dying is really worth it, because anyway, you can always move on and find another girl. No? So anyway, with that, I hope you subscribe to my channel, Writer Coach Tony, and follow me on my Twitter, my Instagram, and my Facebook. So in the future, I'll have more book reviews. So thank you very much, everyone. Take care.